I've been on mute the whole time. Now y'all can hear me. Ain't that crazy? There we go. Can y'all hear me now? Make sure you say something in the comments if you can. Can you hear me? Is that better? I think I was on mute the entire time. Hard talking. Can y'all hear me? YouTube, can you hear me? Yes, yes, good. I know TikTok can. And again, there we go. All right, yes. So that was me. I was hard talking on mute, but I'm getting ready to kill. I'm going to kill the TikTok and Instagram feeds in just a second. I'm trying to get all of my screens together because I want to explain what First Step is really all about. And then I want to give all of you an opportunity, if you are interested in being a part of what's about to take place. And this is going to be good. I think this is going to be good, and just incredibly stoked to be with you on tonight. Yes, I'm live on TikTok, but I'm getting ready to kill the feed. So for those of you that are on TikTok, I'm going to kill that in just a second. No, I'm not talking to you.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Siri, I'm not talking to you. So we're getting ready to get started. Yes, I'm live on TikTok, but I'm going to kill that. I'm going to be strictly on YouTube. So if you're not following me on YouTube, go to YouTube right now. I'm at Zeb the Third. I'm going to kill all the feeds. I'm going to kill the feeds on TikTok and IG because you won't be able to see the show. And I'm going to explain what the show is all about. So one of the things that I'm asked a lot is if I would be willing to answer people's questions as they have questions. And I get this a lot. And unfortunately, YouTube is the best platform that allows me to bring people on screen. And so if you are interested tonight in asking me a question about your life, your situation, I want to answer those tonight live on the air. Live on the air. Thank you. I love my beanie as well. I want to answer those questions live on the air. So you're going to have to get off of Instagram and get off of TikTok. I'm strictly on YouTube in 3 minutes. All right. So here are the instructions, and it's real easy. If you go to my YouTube page right now, you can find me at Zeb the Third on YouTube. All right. That's at Zeb the Third on YouTube. You can find me there and go to YouTube, join the feed from YouTube or the live stream from YouTube, and then you will see in the description box a link that will allow you to join tonight's show. There is a backstage, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody that wants to come online with me tonight and ask your question. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that on the live feed, and if nobody wants to come, we'll get off the line. But I've had several people request that I do this, and I want to use this as an opportunity to answer your questions. So again, everybody get off of IG, get off of TikTok. TikTok numbers are climbing through the roof already. I want you to go to YouTube. At Zeb the Third is where we are on YouTube. And go ahead and join us there. And if you're interested in coming on the show, I don't care what the question is about. It can be about relationships, life, career, doesn't matter. I want to answer your questions tonight, and I will answer as many questions I can over the next hour. I would say no more than 90 minutes. All right. So that's what First Step is all about. I call it First Step because anytime you're going to make a change in your life, you have to be willing to make a step. And it takes some courage, without a doubt. You can type your question. I see that coming up. But I'm certainly going to deal with people that come on screen first, obviously. And so if you do want to be on the show, if you just go to YouTube right now at Zeb the Third, I'm going to kill all of these feeds. You can see that handle on my story. If you just go to my story, you can see the handle there. But I'm going to kill both Instagram and TikTok so that you can come on and join us on YouTube. And if you've got a question, just look in the description box and you should see the link there. And you can join from there, and we will bring each person on one by one and give you the opportunity to come on and ask your question. And so I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be the beginning of something tremendous, and we're going to see how tonight goes and tweak it as we go. But good. I see the YouTube numbers are climbing. So you all are following instructions. So good. I'm going to go ahead and kill Instagram first because there's a lot of people on TikTok. I'm trying to give them time to go. So IG, if you would go to YouTube, you can find me on YouTube at Zeb the Third. Just go to your search bar and type in Zeb the Third, and you can find us there. And come on and jump on because we're going to start bringing people from backstage on so that you can ask your question. And there's no question or topic off limits. It doesn't matter what it is. And good. We see some people. There's some people already jumping backstage. Only one caveat: I do not want you to come on and not show your face. It would be nice if you would show your face. Yes, it might take a little bit of courage for some of you, but it's no different than writing a comment under my videos. All right. So don't be afraid to show your face. And it's going to be a great time. And I can't wait to see you. All right. So go over to YouTube, Instagram. I'll see you there. Hey, good to see you. Y'all get over to YouTube. All right. TikTok. All right. Y'all got to go. Y'all have to go. We're getting ready to kill the feed and go strictly YouTube. All right. We're going to kill the feed. So again, you can follow us, the show right now on YouTube at Zeb the Third. I'm coming on now because many of you asked me, Doc, make sure you let us know when you're going live. We didn't want to forget. And so I wanted to do that tonight. So I've already got some people backstage and we want to try to answer as many questions as we can. So again, go ahead and follow us on YouTube right now at Zeb the Third. This show is called The First Step. This is called The First Step. You don't see the link. The link is in the description. All right. The link is in the description. If you want to join the show, the link is in the description. Okay. If you want to join the show, go ahead and click on the link in the description and we'll get you on in the order that you show up and we'll go from there. All right. But this is going to be a lot of fun. All right. So TikTok, go. Come on. It's a whole lot of y'all still chilling on TikTok. All right. It's the first step to changing your life. That's what it's called. That's not the whole title, but it's really called The First Step. But the whole idea again is that tonight is going to take maybe some courage tonight to get out and to engage, but we want to do that. We want to engage with you tonight and give this a shot because I really think this is going to be an opportunity for many people to be empowered tonight. All right. So go to YouTube right now. TikTok. See y'all. Go to YouTube. Why y'all not getting off the line? TikTok does not want to leave. I've already got some people backstage. And so we're not going to waste a lot of time. TikTok. I need somebody to type at Zeb the Third in the comments. Would you do that for me? Somebody on TikTok, type at Zeb the Third in the comments because we want to go ahead and get going. And Deb, if you can hear me, I'm coming to you first. All right. I'm going to come to you first, Deb. But go ahead and type at Zeb the Third. If somebody on TikTok would do that, I'll pin it and we will leave it up. Thank you, Michaela. We'll leave it up there and make sure you go ahead and jump on YouTube right now. All right. Jump on YouTube right now. If you're at work, put in your headphones. I don't know what people are going to want to talk about. But we're going to go ahead and get going. Thank you so much. Look at TikTok. TikTok is really on it tonight. Y'all must love the lives on TikTok, but I need y'all to go to YouTube. Come on. I'm giving y'all 5 minutes. 5 minutes and you're going to have to go TikTok. Okay. I love y'all. All right, good. The backstage is starting to fill up. I see faces. And I'm not going to bring you on until you cut your camera on. That's important just in case people want to get a crazy idea and try to come on and spam and do crazy stuff. So, Deb, you're coming up first. All right. So, Deb, if you can hear me, I just see your name, Deb, there. If you can hear me and consider this tonight your opportunity to get some coaching and engagement. This is the way I want to do it. And I'm going to try to do this at least once a week, maybe multiple times. And of course, if you want to support the show, thank you so much. Close the comment box and like the live. I appreciate that. If you want to support the show, I want to encourage you to do that. You can certainly do that. And thank you for those of you that supported the show last night on TikTok. I was able to get my lunch because of you. And I appreciate you. And thank you for supporting. Deb, where are you? Are you there? Because we're going to come to you. If not Deb, we're going to go to Des. Des was next. And so if Deb is not ready, we're going to Des next. Backstage, I think I can only get 10 people back there. And so If you can't get on and you want to get on, just keep on trying. And as we get people off, we will go ahead and add people there. All right. All right, TikTok. Love y'all. Come on. YouTube. Good evening, TikTok. TikTok is so stubborn. TikTok, I need you to go to YouTube. All right. Go to YouTube. We're going to transition there. Okay. At Zeb the Third. And I see it again. Thank you, Perfect Chaos. Let me pin your comment real quick. And we're going to get ready to get started. We're going to start with Deb. And again, no question is off limits. But I think this is the start of something that's going to be amazing, because this is very similar to the group work environment that I have on 2 Saturdays out of every month, where it's only limited to 12 people. It's a closed session. And it's for 2 hours. But you're going to see, hopefully, the power of community. And here's the only ask. If you're tuned in tonight and you're watching, make sure you comment in the comment area and be very sensitive to the people that are sharing their situations. Here's the thing. None of us have a right to judge anybody about what they're going through. And I want to be very clear here. None of us have a right to turn up our nose or to look at people some kind of way because they're challenged with whatever they're challenged with. None of us are perfect. All of us are working on ourselves. And so I really want to build a community here where people feel safe and welcome to share what they have to share. And you'll be shocked. People oftentimes are dealing with the very same things you're dealing with, and just need somebody to help coach them through. And so I want to make sure that we're mindful of that. And then, as always, if you've been on any of my lives, you know my rule. It's simple. If I say something that makes sense, I want you to type church with as many R's as you can, because we want to be encouraging tonight. All right, TikTok, I'm out. Bye. YouTube, love y'all. See y'all. Okay, bye. They just don't want to get off the line. Very good. All right, so let's get going. I see Dez is first. I don't know what happened to Deb, but Dez, you're first. If you would like the show, if you're tuned in, watching, make sure you like the show and share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Dez, I'm about to bring you on, okay? You good?
Hi.
Hey, Dez, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing much better now that I'm talking to you. What can we help you with?
Okay, so this is crazy because I was literally just on your TikTok and I'm like, can you be my therapist? Like,
Absolutely. I'd be honored to. Honored.
Okay, so this is my issue. What is it? So I just got out of like a relationship. We kind of like took things like pretty fast, I would say, because we took things fast. Like, but I just got out of a relationship and I now have a baby with him. And he's a little obsessed. And it's like, it's like, I'm the type of person, I like to move on. I like to move on with peace. I like to just be, because when I'm peaceful, like, then I can just move on. I can be free. Like, I can't move on and I can't be mad while I'm moving. I got to do things like, peacefully.
Okay.
So it didn't really end peacefully because like things just went bad. So it didn't really end peacefully, but I still want peace. That's still something that I'm aiming for. And he's obsessed. It's like we it's hard to co-parent with him because it's like, bless you, baby, bless you. It's hard to co-parent with him because it's like he wants what he wants, and it's like what you want, I don't want. So like, how would I go, or how would I handle a situation like that?
Sure. Dez, how old are you, Dez, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 24.
24. And how old is he?
He's 32.
32. Very good. And how long were you all involved before the baby came?
Like literally probably like 5 months.
5 months. Okay. And did you all continue to talk and try to be in a relationship after the baby came, or when did things exactly end between you officially?
Like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. So how long ago was that post the baby being born?
She was 4 months, so that was 4 months before.
Okay. I'll say this to you. There's a number of things I think that stick out, but I want to be very honest with you. Sometimes when we start fast, it's hard to slow down.
Okay.
So the repercussion sometimes of wanting to slow something down that started fast out of the gate is that you either have one or both people who are incapable of trying to now put the cart behind the horse,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is one of the very reasons why it's important that when we get to know people, we go as slow as we possibly can. Now, you've seen my video, so you know probably a lot of the direction I may go here when I say this. But slow is the new fast. Slow is really the new fast, and we've got to be careful in this society we live in, especially social media society, where people are in a hurry to post who they're dating and what they're doing, and to look like they're in a happy relationship, whatever. We can sometimes speed up the process of getting to know people because we're in a
Mm-hmm.
hurry that we don't have to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you don't want to be with him anymore. Is that the case or no?
Say it again.
I said, I'm assuming you don't want to be with him anymore. Is that the case? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I just want to co-parent. It's not a healthy relationship.
Okay. And you told him that?
Yeah.
Right. The thing that you all have joining you obviously is the little one, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to have to be able to co-parent with the little one there. But here's the other thing that I need you to consider. He's 32 and you're 24. I don't have a problem with the age difference. I don't have a problem with the age difference at all. But understand this: there's something inherently powerful about a man being engaged with a woman and being fully engaged with her while he's operating in healthy masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is even more impactful if the man is older,
Right.
right? Because if the man is older and he's not in that space where his masculinity or his masculine energy is healthy, then you have a dynamic where even if you were interested in him, you may not be because he's not really being what he should be.
Right.
Okay. So you're going to just have to set boundaries. I think communication is going to be critical here. But the little one, you've got at least 18 years, right? I mean, and it's not, look, it's not the end of the world. You've got at least 18 years, but it's natural. Is this your first child?
Mm-hmm.
His first child?
No.
No. How many children for him?
4. She is his 4th.
His 4th.
Yeah.
So typically, when you have your first child, it's normally natural that you want to be with the person you had a child with. That's natural. But this is number 4 for him, right? And so he probably needs to be healed in some other spaces that's causing him to be very attached to you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have to set clear boundaries, and you can do that, right? And I want to encourage you to not only do it, but do it in a way that's respectful. It's important because you all being at odds is not going to be good for the little one.
See, then that's the thing. It's like I set my. She hit the mic. I'm sorry. I set my boundaries, and I feel like my boundaries are very clear. They're very. It shouldn't be too hard to understand what it is that I'm needing and that I'm wanting. Like, but he's so headstrong. Like, oh, well, I want you to be my girl. I want you to do this. I want you to, like, you're mine. Like, I'm not yours anymore. It doesn't work like that. And then it's gotten to the point where it's just like I just want the conversation to consist of her, nothing dealing with between what we had going on or nothing like that. But it always has something to do with what I got going on. Like, who you talking to, what you doing, stuff like that. Like, but I feel like my boundaries are very clear. I've set so many boundaries with him, and he's the type to cross them over and over and over again. So then it's like, dang, now you about to make me get a little disrespectful with you, and I don't even want to do that.
No. Here's the thing. As a man, one of his greatest move right now at this phase of your connection, his best move would be to completely fall backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it might mean that he needs to talk to another man to really explain this to him. The worst thing a man can do to a woman is pursue her when she doesn't want to be pursued.
Absolutely. And then
Technically,
that's what I keep saying. It's like all you gotta do is just chill out a little bit, and we could probably be cool. Like we could probably like figure things out. But he just all on my back. Like it's like I can't. You're
yeah.
not understanding.
You can't do that. That's the worst position he can be in. He's got
Yeah.
to learn how to fall back and be respectful, especially if someone that he's interested in, whether it's his baby's mom or just a woman in general,
Right.
is not interested, to fall back, because that's his greatest position of power. But you have to set those boundaries. And again, I want to say to you, Des, don't. Um, I don't want this to turn into a toxic situation or a very unhealthy situation where, because you are at odds or he's not listening, then it becomes very combative or argumentative, because things can, of course, escalate and get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's not a good look, and it's not a good look for the little one, right? And so you definitely want to maintain your maturity in this situation, set boundaries, but as best as you can, talk peaceably with him about just respecting what you want from him. That's important. And if you do that, and do that as a grown up, which you are, and try to do that in a way in which he understands it without feeling like you're disrespecting him. It doesn't have to be, I don't want to be with you, leave me alone, but it can just simply be, listen, I'm not interested in us. I am interested in us, co-parenting and our little one. And I hope we can do that in a peaceful way. And continuing to drill that message to him until he understands it is really the best thing you can do.
Okay.
But I do want you to make sure you're doing that in a way, this is so important, that's healthy and not toxic. These situations turn so toxic sometimes because one party is really frustrated with the other one, and we just don't handle it a good way. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Uh,
Because
so
that's exactly what it is.
yeah, and again, if he were listening, if somebody could get to him, I would clearly just say to him, as a man, your strongest place of strength is to fall back when you're not wanted.
Yes.
And I hope any man that's tuned in tonight understands that it is not wise to pursue when you're being pushed back.
It's not.
It's not, right? It's just going to create toxicity, and it's not going to be well. Des, I'm proud of you.
Proud of me?
Yes, absolutely. Because it took a lot of courage to come on here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
First person I ever talked to on this format, so I'll never forget you.
With my bonnet on.
Hey, listen, that's all good. I'm gonna leave my comments about the bonnets to later on in the show. Y'all in those bonnets wear me out. But anyway, I appreciate you, my friend. I'm rooting for you, and definitely keep me posted. Write me, let me know how everything's going.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Pleasure's mine. I mean it.
All right, bye.
Right now. See, y'all, that wasn't that bad, was it? Listen, hold on. I need to go get my notebook. I don't have a notebook. Y'all hold on. This is real ghetto, but y'all gonna be all right. Hold on. All right. There we go. I really appreciate Des for sharing, and I want to just say you all didn't type enough churches in the comment. Michelle Payton is the only one that typed church. Maybe I wasn't that good with the feedback, though I doubt that's the case. You all type in the comments and engage with one another. And let me just again say, you all should know by now, I'm going to be honest, sometimes brutally honest, but I try to do it in a way that's caring and that's very sensitive to where you are. So I appreciate that, Des, and I'm proud of you. Tracy, I think you're next. Tracy, if you're there. Tracy, Des, I'm going to pull you from the studio so that other people can come in. Tracy, are you ready? Tracy, can you hear me? No? All right. Miss J, well, there you go. Hold on. I think I see you, Tracy. Tracy, are you ready? Cut on your camera so I can see that you're ready. And we'll come to you. And we'll go from there. If not, I'm going to go to Mrs. J. I see Mrs. J there. She's been there for some time. And we'll come back to you, Tracy. Mrs. J, are you ready?
I am.
There you are. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. So
Um,
it's
I
good to have
question.
you on tonight.
Yes, I follow you from TikTok. I ran over here,
Well, thank
but
you so much.
my situation is I'm a mother of five. I've been married
Right?
for 13 years in July. My husband doesn't seem to support my dreams and ambitions in career paths or life in general. Um, he makes everything about himself. I'm trying to figure out how I can start my dreams, ambitions, while still providing for my five girls, and being everything they need as they're rearing up. They're range from ages from 17 all the way to 5. So everybody's on a different level. And on top of that, I'm a first lady too. So it impacts the church. It's a lot of work. It's a lot.
How long have you and your husband been married?
13 years, July 17th. He's been in my life. We've been together for since my oldest daughter was 1, so about 16 years.
Mhm. Have you talked to him about your dreams and aspirations and what it is that you want to do?
I have, and his response is that I wasn't created to do my own thing. I was created to support him.
Okay, so let's have an honest conversation tonight. And I want to say this, and I want to preface it by saying I'm a third generation PK. All right, I've grown up in church. I was pretty much born on the front row of the church, third generation, and I understand how sometimes these things are taught in ministry. But let me say this to you: so many people misunderstand the term help meet. Okay, and I'm sure you've heard that term in church. A helpmeet is not an indentured servant. In fact, the verse or the chapter that people really quote a lot biblically, assuming you're Christian, right? The chapter that so many people quote biblically is Proverbs what 31.
31. Mm-hmm.
If you read Proverbs 31, you will see that the
She had help.
woman, somebody, yep, the woman was not um, sitting at the house doing nothing. In fact, if you read Proverbs 31, the first part of Proverbs 31 taught the man how to be a king and lead his family. And then right around verse 9 or 10, it deals with the Proverbs 31 woman who got up, had a field that she owned, tended to it, made garments for her family, made sure her family was all well. But she was, the Proverbs 31 woman was an entrepreneur. Read it, it's in there. So this idea that you can't have a dream because you have a husband is the 1950s. Okay, that's number one. Here's the second thing that I want to say to you, and I want to be as respectful about this as I can be. Sometimes we use the Bible as a means of trying to support our own agenda. Now, this is going to make a lot of the believers mad tonight. But we got to stop using the Bible to support our agenda. It doesn't work that way. The Bible, if you believe in that, I've got friends who are Muslims, atheists, Seventh-day Adventists. I've got friends on the spectrum. But if you believe in the Bible, you understand that the Bible is there to be a guide to you, not for you to be a guide to it. And so many people use the Bible as a means of pushing their own agenda. And that's something he's got to really do a lot of deep self-examination for. Because here's the thing: is he a pastor? You're a first lady, right?
Yes.
The other part of this: what's his first ministry?
Home.
Home.
Family. Mm-hmm.
His first ministry is not a church. His first ministry is not a church. His first ministry is the home. So this idea of I'm the man. This is what I want to do. And you do everything that lines up with me. It sounds great. It works for a lot of places without a doubt. But the reality of the matter is, you can have a man that leads a family and still have an ambitious wife, and they still share the same purpose. And to suggest that a man and a woman cannot share the same purpose because they are in a home where the man is being honored as the head is archaic. It's archaic.
I, I agree.
So you're gonna have a conversation with him. You're gonna have a conversation with him. And again, it's not about minimizing what his purpose is. This is not that conversation. I'm not minimizing anybody's purpose. Now, I get, the risk of doing things like this because people will take a clip and run with it instead of taking context. I don't really care about that. Um, I'm not minimizing his purpose at all as a man, as a pastor, whatever he is. But neither am I minimizing yours. And I think the beautiful thing about leading, if you're a pastor, also leading a home, is that your home can be the first demonstration of what it looks like to have a vision for a house, but also have people within that house who also have a vision. Because to suggest that only his vision matters, if that translated to the church, then it would look like him being the pastor and he's got a vision for the house, but nobody else in the church can have an idea. And that's what tends to happen. And that's not biblical. They didn't have one tribe of Judah, they had 12.
Well,
All 12 of them had different purposes under one kingdom. So we've got to be very careful with this kind of stuff, okay? But I would suggest to you, that's your husband. That's your husband. You all
yes.
communicate well. How's your communication with one another?
Um, it could be a lot better.
On his end, your end, or both, honestly.
Honestly, both. Um, Oftentimes, because you're the closest to them,
Hmm.
you get a lot of everything from everybody, and the hurt that they experience. Sometimes miss, mm, they dish it out in the wrong ways, and so I have pretty much created boundaries for myself, um, about things that I will hear or not hear, or and separate myself, and or maybe just walk away from the situation because I don't want to deal with it at the moment. Um, and I do that to protect my mental as well,
And
because
it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
it's not.
Shut, Shutting down is not healthy, right? Or withholding how you feel is not healthy. But I would suggest, it sounds like he might be really headstrong, which I can say this again, I'm a third generation PK, so I'm not talking from a place of ignorance. A lot of pastors and preachers are headstrong. A lot of them do. And a lot of them don't want to listen, don't like to listen. So this ain't a remark on him. It's a remark on every preacher because I know a lot of them. Okay. A lot of them are very headstrong and don't want to hear only but who they want to hear. So I would seriously, suggest you have a conversation with him, and then maybe you all have a conversation with a third party that he trusts, that you trust, that can be neutral, right? Because the other side to this is when you're counseling in spaces like this, which I have couples that work in ministries that I counsel. So this is nothing. That's nothing new. But when I counsel folks in this space that work in ministry, one of the things that I know to be true
Mhm.
is that people that work in ministry, especially pastors and leaders, have to feel comfortable with the people that they're getting the advice from. They do. And so he will need to feel comfortable as well. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you all need to have a neutral third party that can talk to you both truthfully. Because what tends to happen in this space, and I'm talking to you from experience, not what I heard, not what Oprah said. What I know from experience is what tends to happen with situations like this, you all bring a party in and that person is not neutral. They're not objective. And so it becomes counterproductive. You need somebody who can tell you the truth. You need somebody that can look him in the face and tell him the truth too. Okay? And that takes
And what
guts.
happens if they have?
Hmm?
He has refused. He said he's not doing any more counseling because we've tried it before. Um,
If you're
and
in
it
that
seems like
go
when
ahead,
they
I'm
start
sorry.
to agree with me,
Mhm.
he shuts down. He says no more counseling.
If you got a situation like that, he's got some serious healing he's got to do. And again, he's not here to defend himself. This is from a third party that's listening to what you're sharing. The same Bible you read says, in the multitude of counselors, make war. That's the one you read. So we cannot like that verse when it comes to us making decisions that we like, but then disregard the same verse when we're hearing things we don't like. And this,
And I'm not a perfect person. Um, I don't do everything right.
none
I'm
of us do.
learning how to be
None
a
of us
wife,
do.
a mother.
Yes.
Um, and I know there's areas of myself that I can work on personally, but in a place where you feel like you're stuck, you can't progress because you don't have the support. I went to nursing school and I wasn't successful because I didn't have the support at the time. Um, and he's like, go back, go back, go back. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's the best thing, especially when everybody else has needs too. And now the kids are not babies where they was going to daycare. No, they got activities and,
Yeah. It's
I'm
work.
pulled 20 million different ways.
It's
So
work. It's work.
I just, I feel like I lack the support um, for me.
Yeah, that's a serious conversation you have to have with him. If he doesn't want a third party, obviously we can't be intrusive into your marriage and what happens in your home. He doesn't want a third party involved. That's unfortunate because again, multitude of counselors we are to make war. There's beauty in counseling, and the beautiful side about counseling isn't designed to tell you, me, or anybody else what you want to hear. Counseling is designed to tell you what you need to hear. Therapy, coaching is not designed to tell you what you want to hear, which is why a lot of people keep me in business because they don't want to hear this. Counseling is not designed to tell you what you want to hear. It's designed to tell you what you need to hear. And that goes for me, you, your husband, our daddies, our mamas, and anybody else. So if he doesn't want to get someone else involved, you have to continue to talk to him. And you have to continue to open up your heart to him and express to him how you're feeling. I saw somebody put in the comments, fasting and prayer. I'm not anti that, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. But faith without works is dead. And a whole lot of folks are fasting and praying, and they ain't doing nothing when they finish. Faith without works is dead. So at a certain point, when we finish fasting and praying, we have to apply some real things to our lives. So continue to talk to him. Continue to talk to him. And let's hope his heart is softened so that he's able to receive you as his first priority, because the church ain't it. I'll tell you, any pastor to their face that has a family, the church is not your first priority. And if you think it is, you out of order. Your first priority is your house. If you married, it's your wife or your husband if you're a woman and you're a pastor. If you're not and you have children, your first priority is your children. And we have screwed this up in church. This is why the divorce rate is not absent of the church. It's just as high in the church, if not higher. Now we'll shout and we'll throw Bible at people and we'll say we're first and we this and all of this stuff. But this is a classic example that if you just break it all the way down to the bare bones foundation, his number one priority right now should be to have peace in his home. Just like your number one priority as the first lady should be to have peace in your home. So continue to talk to him, my friend. Continue to talk to him. Continue to have a conversation with him. Continue to share with him the elements of your heart that he needs to hear. And let's hope that his heart softens. And I offer this to you. If he'd be willing to talk to me, I'd be more than willing to talk to him. It's not going to be what he wants to hear. I don't care about that. You can ask any of my nearly 200 clients if I care about whether or not you want to hear something I have to say. The truth is right whether we like it or not. Okay, so I'm willing and more than willing to talk to him, and I open that up to him. But if not, you continue to talk to him and labor with him, and I'm really hopeful that this works out, and I mean that sincerely.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm rooting for you, my friend.
Thank you. God bless
Thank you so much. Bless you. All right, y'all. This is getting great. Can I say this to y'all? Let me say this to y'all. Let me go ahead and make some of you upset. This is the breaking news. The breaking news is that you don't own the truth. That's the breaking news. You don't own it. I think one of the craziest, yes, I can do that, Nina. Thank you so much. I think one of the things we do a disservice of is we walk around and say things like, this is my truth. Truth doesn't belong to you because truth isn't subjective. Truth is objective. So if you just look at your timeline, people say, well, yes, I'm living my truth. This is my truth. No, that's your heavy opinion. You don't own truth. Truth is very black and white. It's peanut butter or jelly. It's red or white. It's black or blue. It's not gray, right? You don't own it. And so when I engage my clients, the approach is very much so coming from points that are most times research based, fact driven. I don't really get into the whole how you feel thing. I deal with your feelings because feelings are important. Emotions matter, right? But at the end of the day, the problem with many of us is that we just don't like the truth. And we throw out words that we don't know, like trigger and gaslight and manipulation. You don't even know what it means. So we got to stop doing that so we can stop doing people a disservice, because the downside to the internet is that it gives everybody an opinion. Right? That's the downside to the internet. It gives everybody an opinion. And some of us don't need an opinion until we get a little bit more research. Okay? And so I appreciate Mrs. J for sharing what she shared. All right. Tracy, are you there? I want to add you. If you can cut on your camera. Tracy, are you there? Nope. I think Tracy's trying to connect because you keep coming in and out, Tracy. Are you there? Can you cut on your camera so I can see you? No. Erica, are you ready, Erica? If you will cut on your camera, I'd be happy to bring you on. Erica, are you ready? There we go. I'm going to add you, Erica. You were next. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you so much for jumping on tonight. What can we help you with?
So, I guess similar to a lot of us gals here, I was in a 10-year relationship. Him and I met when I was only 24. He had already had a kid, and together we had a daughter. Long story short, very mentally, it started off physically abusive the first year and a half. Then, swear I won't do it again. And he didn't. And then then it became very emotionally abusive, and just, it just was a spiral downward. Long story short. Yeah. So we split up actually 3 years ago. We've been civil as far as parenting. He moved on very quickly after we broke up. And so, which is fine. But for me, it's taken me these last 3 years to really pick up the pieces, I guess you can kind of say, right? So, so I've done a lot of healing. I've worked on my own internal issues, but one of the biggest things for me has been my self-esteem.
Okay.
I think overall, just trusting. It's been a work in progress. I think for dating has been. I've slowly started to crawl back into the dating scene. A lot of things have changed because I was out of the game for so long. But Nonetheless, like I said, I'm slowly healing, but I haven't made a commitment with anyone in particular because I guess probably I thought maybe I was over the fear of trust. That may be part of the self-esteem or maybe part of the trust thing. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's finding a starting point. I'm the type of person that likes to do a lot of research.
Good.
I want to find
Good.
out, how to motivate, how to initiate, how to create discipline in myself, how to, do all the uh, self-awareness and all that good stuff. So, but when it comes to self-esteem, there's just so much out there, and there's never really a good starting point, not that I have found anyway, that can really help people who are afraid of themselves in a way, right?
Why would you say you're afraid of yourself? Where do you think this low self-esteem comes from? I have an answer, but I want to hear you.
Well, I think it's just, I think the low self-esteem thing comes from maybe feeling like, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't have a starting point. I genuinely do not know.
How long have you two been apart?
We've been split up now 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I tended to see. I've tended to see in similar situations. Typically, people 2, 3 years removed from a relationship who are still reeling with self-esteem, trust issues are people who have worn the breakup. People who have internalized the behavior of the people who broke up with them. In almost 90 to 95% of the cases, people who 2, 3 years removed from a breakup, who struggle with self-esteem, trusting people, not being willing to commit, are typically people who have internalized the behavior of the people who let them down. And so the first order of business is to come to a realization, Erica, that what he did was not your doing, it was his doing. Seems small, but this very clear delineation between wearing what he did versus that ain't my stuff. He made the decision, he made the choice, that's on him. His choice to not be with me and move on right away isn't a reflection of whether or not I'm worthy. It's not a reflection of whether or not I'm good enough. It's not a reflection of whether or not I'm capable enough of being able to trust again. It is a reflection of the own problems and challenges he has. And we have to come to that. I think somebody put in the comments, and it's true. Somebody said self-actualization is in essence what it is, where you really realize self-actualization is not only just coming to an understanding of who you are. Here's the part of it that most people miss. It's also coming to the understanding of what you should not accept and what you should not own. And so many people own things that they really have no business owning. And right now, it sounds like you're owning his behavior. Sounds like you're owning the decisions that he made. And you've got to separate yourself from that. How old is your child together?
She just turned 12.
Just turned 12, right? So she's a whole teenager on the
Yeah.
way. The other part of this is that she's in such a critical time of her life that the mama she needs to see is the healed one.
Right.
Going into her teenage years, the mama she needs to see is the healed one. I would suggest you do some self-concept work. I don't know if you've heard the term self-concept.
No.
So self-concept is what the term implies. And it is pretty much a reflection of how we see ourselves. Self-concept work is really redefining, Erica, how you see yourself in the grand scheme of your life and what it is that you desire to be. And it's simple. You may have seen my video where I talk about the adjectives. I want you to sit down and make a list and ask yourself and say, if I were to picture myself a year from now, completely healed, completely whole, what are the 10 to 15 characteristics that will be a reflection of my everyday living? Maybe confidence is one, right? The ability to trust. Obviously, we talked about that, right? You want to make out a list of these 10 to 15 things, and then you want to spend the next 2 to 3 months becoming those things,
Okay.
putting yourself in a position to become those things. So here's the thing. If trust is something you want to work on, anytime you want to work on an attribute, you tend to have to face the opposite of the attribute in order to become it. Let's use attitude for an example, because this is the easiest one to explain. I explain this one a lot. If a person says to me, Doc, I really want to work on my attitude. In a year from now, I could see myself having a better attitude and being, better capable of dealing with people. Well, if you're going to work on attitude and make a conscious effort to show up in spaces with a positive attitude, what life tends to present are people who have bad attitude.
Okay.
To position you to be able to exercise your ability to grow a positive attitude. So if trust is on the list, don't be shocked if you meet people as you're doing this self-work, that you meet people who show up in spaces who aren't always completely trustworthy. But they're going to show up that way because you're really positioning yourself to become what you want to be, not necessarily what you are right now. So 2 to 3 months. If you spent, let's say, 1 to 2 days on each word, you're talking 2 to 3 months on working on those words to build your self-concept, i.e. how you see yourself. And during that period of time, Eric, I would also say this. When was the last time you dated someone?
About 2 years.
2 years ago. I would, for this 2 to 3 months of doing this work, go ahead and shut all of that down. Go ahead and shut it all down. You've been apart from your child's father for some time. So it's no need to go all the way from scratch and, take a year off. But as you're working on your self-concept and rebuilding how you see yourself, go ahead and shut down the dating market. No need to entertain people while you work on yourself, because it's like watching multiple TVs at one time.
Right. Yeah,
Okay?
I tried after the first year. After we split up, I felt like, okay, maybe I'm ready. It's been a year, right? I took that 1 year off, and I started dating. But as I said, like, a lot of things changed during the dating scene. A lot of just being out of the loop for, like I said, over 10 years. I got a little scared, to be honest with you. So
I get it.
I took a step back and I said, no, I think I really need to work on myself. And like I said, it's not so much that, that any relationship that I'm in, it turns toxic, but I'm afraid that it'll even get to that point. So I don't even let that person pass the door. You know what I mean? So it's turned into self-protect, kind of mechanism, I guess, if you will.
One of the words I want you to put on your list is the word vulnerable. It should be on your list. You know what does the word vulnerable mean to you?
Vulnerable to me means, for example, actually being brave enough to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, in every aspect, right? Whether that be in who you are, your personality, and physically, and self-acceptance. To me, that's what vulnerability means to me.
Absolutely. I think that's a part of it for sure. I want to add this part of it too, as well. I remember growing up, we used to go to YMCA camps as a kid, and they had this little exercise where they would put a person on a log. You would stand there and they put the blindfold around them, and they made that person fall backwards. Right.
Okay.
And when they fell backwards, there would be kids. We would be there. They would teach us how to catch the people falling backwards. But it was an exercise in trust and vulnerability, and that the person standing on the log that fell backwards had to trust that the people behind them would catch them. But that's trust. But vulnerability takes trust to the next level. Vulnerability says, I believe in my ability to recover more than my fear of being let down.
Okay.
Don't ever forget this definition. Vulnerability is your belief in your ability to recover more than your fear of being let down, i.e. being hurt, i.e. being taken advantage of, i.e. whatever. You have a greater sense of trust in your ability to recover than you do your fear of being let down. So when a person says they are vulnerable and they can show up in spaces vulnerable, they're saying they've done so much work on them that even if you don't show up right,
Yeah.
you don't handle me right, my ability to recover from what you do is greater than what you could do to me. And that's what the self-work does for us, my friend. Vulnerability should go on your list. Write that 10 to 15 words down. Take 2 to 3 months and just freeze dating, right? No numbers, no dinner dates, no coffee, none of that. And just, I know it's the summertime, right? But take 60 to 90 days and say, I'm going to pause my life and dedicate my life to personal development, right? And working on these 10 to 15 areas I want to become. And you're going to know you're there when, again, your fear of being let down is not greater than your fear of recovery. Okay. I also want to mention to you the 5 areas of healing, right? There's 5 areas that you want to work on. If you've seen any of my videos, you've heard me say it a million times: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial, wholeness. Right? Those are 5 areas you want to work over the next 90 days to trying to stabilize. What can you do to stabilize yourself emotionally so that when you do meet someone, you can temper down those ideas of he might do this or he might do that, right? What can you do to work on yourselves mentally so that you show up in spaces locked in the present, not concerned about what happened with the ex, not worried about what this person you just met might do in the future, but just saying, this is the present moment. I'm going to make the most out of the present moment that I'm in right now. Spiritual development is important, right? Some type of higher power where you can really work to, because I think spiritual empowerment helps us to be grounded mentally and emotionally. Physical fitness is good too. I don't know if you work out, what you do in terms of diet and exercise, but that's also another way of taking your self-esteem and really raising it through the roof. Because typically when we look good and we feel good about how we look, we typically feel good overall.
Right.
And then your finances as well, of course, just really working on budgeting. Maybe you setting some savings goals. But the thing that I'm trying to get to you, Erica, is if you work on those 5 things over the next 90 days, honestly, you don't have time to think about anything else but you and your daughter.
Yeah.
And by the time you come back 90 days later, your mentality and your perspective should be a little bit different. But that's what's happening here. You're wearing what he did, and I need you to take that off. That doesn't belong to you. Grown people make grown decisions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you an empath? Do you know what an empath is?
I am.
Most empaths do this. People break up with us, and then when they do crazy things, we internalize what they did as if we did something that caused it, instead of taking a step back and saying, maybe they did that because they're broken themselves. It's classic empath behavior. And so I'm sorry, my friend, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, it's true. Just being in that 10-year relationship, as I was saying, most of those people, these narcissistic people, tend to turn, I do this because, Erica did this and this and this. It's your fault I'm this way, right? Or it's your fault the way that the relationship is turning out, or it's your fault that whatever the case may be, right? And so, yeah, I mean, for a lot of those years, you sit there with yourself, for a freaking decade, right? And you're like, oh, maybe it is my fault, right?
Bingo.
Or maybe
Bingo.
we could be better.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And so you have to deconstruct and deprogram yourself from all of that. And so taking a step back, I see you, Madeline. I think that's a great comment there. Taking a step back to look at your situation objectively, right? Don't look at it as Erica, but view your situation the way I am as a third party and say, is all of this stuff that he did, was that really on me or was that really about him? And that's when you start to turn the corner of not wearing the behavior of other people, but saying, I got my own flaws, you have yours as well. That helps to delineate the difference between the two. And that should start to turn you in the right direction, my friend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. I appreciate it.
3 months off. Shut it down. No boyfriends, no coffee dates, no nothing. Let's build that self-concept so you can pop out the gate at the end of this summer real fresh.
Sounds good.
Thank you, my friend. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate that. Y'all, when you're an empath for real, and I can say this from personal experience, when you're an empath and you've got a big heart, you wear what people do. And when you wear what people do, you will take that with you. And sometimes you end up owning things that don't belong to you. And that's the danger of that. So make sure you don't do that. Tracy, I'm coming to you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, I'm excited. I got a guy on the line. Oh, man, I'm excited. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, nothing much, man. Nothing much. How you doing this evening?
Man, it's an honor to be on with you, man.
Yes, sir. Same
Yes,
to you.
sir.
Same. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes, what's up? What can we help you?
Yes, sir. So I need a man advice. I need a man advice. So I heard the last section there with the young lady there, and I really took some pointers from that because, I too, I am dealing with a situation where, I just currently came out of divorce. And it was one of those situations, I was young, man, the mother of my kids, we moved very fast, very fast. I had my first child when I was 19. So, and been in the church all my life, it was just impounded in me, that you're supposed to get married, and I wasn't ready, flat. I wasn't ready.
Right.
But I still took that initial step. And in the mix of me doing that, I was learning why I was in that marriage on how to become a man, and still learning how becoming a father. It's just a lot going on, long story short though, so I'm currently divorced. Been divorced going on about a couple of years now. What led to that divorce, with infidelity. Not so more on my part, but on the, my ex's part. And so my question to you is that, I took the initiative, to get the mental healing, the emotional healing, and did all the steps that I needed to do. And now that I'm in a current new relationship, I want to be married again. I definitely want to be married again. I want that family lifestyle. I want that family, upbringing. My question to you is, how will I know that I am completely ready to be married again, knowing what I previous went through is kind of, I won't say hunting me, but it's like more of a, like a, you got you got the devil, you got the angel, wearing on your shoulder, and he's like one side saying, yeah, Tracy, go ahead and take it, go ahead and do it again. You got it. But the other side is like, do you really want to go through that again? And so I'm in a situation now, I'm like really battling with, am I truly ready, or is that something I just really need to just take a pause and reevaluate?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody afraid of heights?
Yes.
You do. Do you know anybody who's ever overcome the fear of heights? I do.
Yes.
So ask a person who's ever overcome a fear of heights, and they will tell you that the only way they know they're not afraid of heights is what?
By taking that chance.
Bingo. If they go out, let's say, my brother is afraid of heights. It's so funny when we go on family vacations and my dad takes everybody. We stay at high hotels on high floors. My brother's like walking against the wall. Like it's a real thing for him. But
Yeah.
I've got a friend who was afraid of heights, and he said to me, Doc, I knew I wasn't afraid of heights when I could go to the place that once made me afraid and I wasn't fearful anymore. You're going to know you're ready for marriage when the thought of it failing is no longer a fear. You're going to know you're ready for marriage when the thought of it failing is no longer a fear. That's when you're going to know. It's just like overcoming the fear of heights. When you think about the person that you're with and how much you love her and how you want to marry her and be with her, but you can think about her and think about the failure of your first marriage, but not think about it in a way of, man, this might happen. I don't know. Am I sure? Da, da, da. Versus that happened. That's what I learned from it. This is how I've grown from it. I can take my experience there and apply it here. And I know that it's not going to fail this time like it failed the first time. When you get in that space, you're no longer afraid of heights.
You know what? I'm really not even trying to get emotional right now because
it's okay if you do.
I told I had to really look at myself. Mm-hmm. Because of the fact that when I got cheated on,
yeah, it
wasn't with a male, it was with a female, and it's differently, because you put yourself in that position of, off the top, you wasn't ready, but when you try so hard to become that person that you wasn't ready at that time to be. And now it's like I'm looking at my situation now, and like the lady that I'm with right now, she's adorable, and wow. I feel like I'm holding her back because of
fear.
And it's like I just look at it because it's not for her to hurt, because I came to her broken. I came to her broken, and I told her when I ran back into it in 2019, I told her I'm coming to you as a broken man. Yeah. And I don't know how long it would take, but I want to make you mine forever. And wow. Now that we're all 4 years in this year, I'm nervous and I'm scared, because of what you just told the last representative. It's like, how do you went through all these steps and you try to retrain your mind. You try to tell yourself like, it wasn't you.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. Let me say this to you. Number one, I commend your absolute courage. It ain't nothing soft about a guy who's getting emotional off of an experience like this. I think it speaks to how balanced you are spiritually and emotionally. Guys that have a hard time showing their emotions typically are not balanced emotionally. They're not balanced spiritually, which is bottom line. And it's all good. You're in a good place here, in a safe place. You don't believe me? Just look at the comments. Like, people are really just like rooting you on, my brother. So you're going to be fine. But let me say this to you. I want to say this to you to empower you. The bottom line is men and women just don't handle cheating the same. We're not wired the same. Tracy, I cannot tell you enough how women are more likely to be able to bounce back from cheating than a man is. Because a woman, when she's cheated on, her spirit is broken. When a man is cheated on, his ego is broken.
There you have no doubt.
And it's not the same. A man could try to reconcile, but can't get it out of his head. How did you do this to me? Versus a woman will feel the break of infidelity, but the spirit is easier to heal than the ego. So what you're feeling is normal as a natural man. It's okay. But it's also a sign, my friend, whether it was with a guy, with another woman, it's also a sign, my friend, that there's some more emotional healing I want you to do. Right? Because you said a mouthful when you said you looked at the person that you're with and you see her as so beautiful and you want to make her the happiest woman in the world. Let me tell you something. When a man recovers from something like this and he really wants to be healed and whole, you can best believe he's going to treat that next lady like she's gold. But the thing is, though, if he's not fully healed, he'll sleep with one eye open. And that then becomes a disservice to her because she didn't deserve that. She didn't earn that. Does that make sense? Okay. And so it sounds like that's where you are, and that's okay, my man. I want you to hear me. That's totally okay. It's an indicator, Tracy, that you've got some more healing to do. That's all. It just means you got some more healing to do, my man. That's all it means. And we've all been there. I could tell you some things that'll make your head spin. We've all been there. But this is just a sign that you've got some healing to do. That's all it means. And sometimes our heart is ready for something, our emotions and our spirits are not. Right? So your heart is ready for marriage, your heart is ready to be with her, your heart is ready to engage with her, but your spirit and your emotion is not quite healed yet. And this is why healing in all 5 of those areas is so critical. You don't want to heal in 3. You don't want to heal in 4. You want to heal in all 5. Okay. And when you do, then yeah, you'll be able to think about what she did. And it won't even, I'm telling you, man, there's a level of healing to where you'll think about what she did and it won't even bother you like that anymore. You'll be thankful for it. Because let's face it, we probably wouldn't be talking about growth and becoming whole if you would have never got your feelings hurt in the first place. Sometimes hurt drives us to do the work.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes disappointment drives us to do the work, right? Sometimes being let down drives us to do the work. So let's shift from what happened to us and let's move to a place of gratitude. I'm grateful that the infidelity occurred because it was the impetus that got me to look at myself differently as a man. I'm grateful the infidelity occurred because it was the impetus that got me to understand the power of emotional healing as a man. I'm grateful that this occurred because it was the impetus that caused me to realize the importance of showing up in spaces mentally, emotionally, and spiritually balanced. You have to start telling yourself those areas or things like that that are filled with gratitude every single day so that you begin to reframe what happened. That's just a small little example of what it means to reframe something. You take what happened, but you reframe it so that your perspective of it is one that empowers you and doesn't keep you down. Okay, so it's okay. You're just being told right now, we're not quite ready because you're still emotional about it, right? And it still bothers you to that extent that it pours those things out, but you're going to know you are for real. You're going to know you're ready when literally you can look at the situation and you see it with gratitude, but the very thought of it, like a person who overcomes fears, the very thought of heights won't bother you anymore.
Let me ask you one side question
Yes,
before we end this section.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to me joining or even knowing about this session on tonight, it's crazy because I literally just made my last payment for her ring.
Nice.
And now I'm here and I'm looking at this ring and it's like,
you're close.
like, you know, like
Tracy, but I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me, my man, and hear me good. You're close, but don't let your emotions rush you into the decision.
I really needed to hear this on tonight.
Yeah, you're close. And part of the reason why you got the ring is the eagerness, right? Here's another thing about a man being hurt. When a man is hurt in a relationship or fails in a relationship and he gets another one, he tends to go above and beyond to try to make that one work to prove to himself that he's capable. That's a man thing. It's an ego thing. We're wired that way. But listen to what I'm saying. The downside to that is you rush things. You're in so much of a hurry to prove that you can do it that you overlook some areas for growth and opportunity. As an objective third party that's just meeting you tonight, I can tell you clearly that while your heart is ready, your emotions are not. Right? This is the truth coming from a man. Your emotions are ready. Your heart is ready, but your emotions are not ready for that next step. So I would take some more time to continue to develop yourself, hold on to the ring. And here's the thing. When you do get engaged, when you do get engaged, I would highly recommend couples counseling for both of you before you get married. You need to counsel with someone, coach with someone who can talk to you both individually, collectively as a group, and make sure that you work through some of those potential blind spots and really test you to be sure that there are no wounds from the first situation that you're going to bring over into this new marriage. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's going
Yes,
to be
sir.
very valuable for you moving forward, my man. But yeah, your heart is telling you, let's do it. But your emotions are sending you a trigger. We got a little bit more work to do. And I want you to be
Yeah.
patient with it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I really appreciate this, Doc. I
Man,
really do, man.
I'm proud of you. It's an honor to have you on. I mean it. You dial in anytime you want to. And
Yes, sir.
I'm waiting to hear some good things from you.
Yes, sir. I will definitely keep in touch.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
God bless.
Blessings. Allie, I'm coming to you. You look like you're about to fall asleep. Don't you go to sleep on me, Allie. I'm coming to you next. Let me give y'all some free game. I don't know why my camera is showing my shirt like that because I don't think my lens is dirty. But then again, I don't have anything to wipe it with other than greasy hands. But let me give y'all some free game, fellas. Here's some free game for y'all. Fellas, when you are healed in all 5 of those areas of your life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, and you are in tune with your emotions, and you can express yourself authentically and transparently, you can have whatever you want from most women. This is free game. Because most women that are my clients tell me this, Doc, he won't talk. He won't tell me how he feels. He won't express himself. He won't show emotions. He won't show whatever. I get this all the time. And meanwhile, some of you think it's cool to not express yourself. Meanwhile, she might be getting physical. She might be getting physical needs met from you, but she'll get her emotional needs met from somebody else. This is why women are more likely to emotionally cheat than men. Uh-oh. Because a man can provide to her physically, but if he disconnects emotionally because he don't want to express himself, she'll sleep with you, but then go have an emotional affair with somebody else who will listen to her. This is free game. So work on those 5 areas of being whole, guys, and being healed, and you really show up in spaces better. Allie, I'm coming. Let's go. Let's do it. Because you look like you about to fall asleep on me. How you doing?
Oh, my bad. I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. It's good to be on with you. What can we help you with? Thank you for your patience.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was wondering, how is it possible to like pick the right partner to get married to and have kids with and be with for the rest of your life? Is it like that you have to pick somebody that is into growing, or like is there eventually bound to be some brokenness? Like, is it more likely like that people will have broken families, or like is it possible for a female to find like to do it right and
Sure.
succeed at it? I mean, in her like 30s and her 40s. Like,
Yes, absolutely. I'm assuming you're in your 30s or 40s, right? You're in your 30s?
I'm 32.
32. Absolutely, it is. I will say this to you, Allie. Am I saying your name right? Allie?
Yeah, that's my nickname.
I will say this, Allie, that the key to choosing a person, you kind of hinted towards it, and it is their ability to change, their ability to grow, and their ability to adapt.
Oh, adapt. Yeah, that's a big one.
Those 3 are huge. I get this a lot. Doc, how do I know this is the right person? How do I know how to choose the right person? Measure their ability to change, or measure how they deal with change, measure their value for growth, and measure their ability to adapt. Why is change, growth, and adapt important? Because life changes. Who you are at 32 and who you will be together at 50 will not be the same couple. Because you won't be the same people. But you can still have the same marriage if you both change, grow, and adapt. What tends to happen, people come together and they don't change, Maybe they grow, maybe they adapt a little bit, but they don't change. Or maybe they change, but they don't adapt and they grow a little bit. You maybe get one out of the three, two out of the three at best. You've got to be willing to change, grow, and adapt. And if you're willing to change, grow, and adapt, and you select someone who is willing to do those things, then as life changes, challenges come, and they will come, you'll be able to grow with a person. Because marriage and having a long, lifelong partner is really about growing with the person that you're with. It's about adapting with the person you're with. It's about changing with the person you're with. It's not about picking somebody now and just saying they're going to be like this for the next 40 years. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't. So change, growth, adapt, right? If they have those three qualities and they're willing to do those three things, that's a good start. The other thing you've heard me say a million times: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. You need to evaluate those 5 areas of their lives and ask them, how stable are they mentally? How stable are they emotionally? How stable are they spiritually? How stable are they financially? How stable are they physically? Those things also give you an insight into how stable and how balanced a person shows up in spaces. And you take that combined with their willingness to change, grow, and adapt, you got a pretty good combination on your hands. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think that people attract anything, or like they attract who they are?
Both. This whole idea that you attract only what you are
Are
is only partially true. I did a video on this, TikTok, the metal detector one.
on the beach? Oh yeah.
Perfect example.
You said put it over the ocean.
There you go. When you're magnetic,
The discernment.
bingo. When you're magnetic and you show up, you're going to attract all kinds of things because your magnetism alone will do it. It then becomes your ability to discern the difference between a piece of gold and a bottle cap. They both have the same magnetic qualities, but one has value and the other one doesn't. So yeah, I think we attract, of course, things that are similar to us, but I think we also attract the whole gamut as well. So this is where people who say, you only attract, bad people. Am I bad? That must mean I'm bad. That's only partially true. That doesn't, that sounded bad. It doesn't mean you're bad, but it just means that oftentimes we attract people who share some similar qualities. But when we're magnetic, we attract a little bit of everything. Absolutely.
Would you have any advice for me on how not to turn bitter?
From what?
I feel like I've never met anybody like that has to offer what I have to offer. And I'm not dealing with anybody, but like, I don't want to fall into this thing where I start to look at guys like, why even bother trying to like figure this next guy out when
Where do you normally meet people, meet guys?
I haven't talked to a new guy all year, so I have to think about this. Okay, so I'll use my ex-fiance as an example. I met him at work. I think he's a covert narcissist. That's why I broke up with him. At the time I didn't know what that was. Mm-hmm. But I haven't been meeting anybody. I would think that it would happen unexpectedly, probably while I'm doing some of my hobbies. I also, because I'm injured right now, but when I heal, I wanted to like I could cook good, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to do things like cooking classes, and just new things, maybe modeling, to put myself out there.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can put yourself out there. Just don't get on dating apps.
Yeah, you said it's like winning the lottery. I read that. I watched that video.
Don't do that. And I mean, I know people are still fighting me off of that video. I don't care. It is like winning the lottery. And the research proves it.
I don't like dating apps.
Yeah, so don't do that. But I think as you work on those 5 areas of your life, Allie, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial well-being, as you work on those 5 areas, I think what you'll see is that you won't have to try as hard at putting yourself out there as you do just live. Like, people that I know that I engage with that are healed and whole, a lot of times they stay in the house. Like, they don't really be out in the mix a lot. And when they do go out, they attract amazing experiences to them because of the magnetism that does come with being around a healed and whole person. And as a healed and whole person, I can tell you, when you're around another healed and whole person, you know it. You can feel it. They got a different kind of energy about them. And so when you got that kind of energy, like, sis, you can go to Target. It don't matter. You don't have to go nowhere fancy. You can go to Target in some sweatpants and go pick up some toilet tissue. But if you got magnetic energy, randoms will stop you. I don't know. This happens to me all the time. I don't know what you do, who you are, sir, but there's something different about you. Keep up the great work. Oh, I'm a coach. I do this. That explains it. Never fails.
I'm
And
an introvert.
I don't know. So it's not about, I get that question a lot. Where can I go to meet people? Well, you can go a lot of different places to meet people. You can go to a funeral home and meet people. Like, you can meet people anywhere. The bigger question is, how are you going to show up when you get there? I don't really care about going to meet people and where you need to go to meet them. As more as I'm concerned, when you go there, showing up as healthy and as whole and as complete as you possibly can be, so that you can see the best results that you can possibly see. So yeah, just continue to work on yourself. Pick up a hobby or two. There's nothing wrong with that. But just when you go out, just be natural and normal, because you're as complete a person as possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you think that it's easier to be single as opposed to being in a relationship, any type of relationship?
If you're healed and whole, it's not hard to be single.
Yeah. So, but
Mhm.
is it easier, do you think, to be in a relationship versus, or is it easier to be single?
I think if you're healed or whole, the answer to that question depends on if you're healed or whole. Healed or whole. As a
Mm.
healed and whole person, being single is easy
Yeah.
because you love you so much that if you never get anybody, you're good.
Yeah. You don't want anybody to hurt you.
Well, no, it's not that. No, it's not that, because healed and whole people are also vulnerable. I'm vulnerable. There's nothing somebody can do to me that is greater than my ability to recover from it.
Yeah. You said that in a video
Bingo.
about vulnerability.
So when you are vulnerable and you're healed and whole, it's not a big deal if you're single or not.
I think it's hard to, like, because when I watched the video, I reposted it on my story and was like, "That's hard." Like,
Levels.
being,
Level.
I'm not at that level yet where I can admit to that, like, where I can just, like, I have the 100% confidence that I could recover. I'm not 100% confident that I can recover from just anything, like, because I still have anxiety, and like I've been going to therapy for like 3 years,
Mhm.
4 years, and like even when I first started the conversation with you, I was like, how do I avoid turning bitter? Like, I'm afraid, like,
It's just a sign that you have more work to do. And it's okay. Look, Allie, it's not a bad thing. I think anytime anybody's getting over anxiety, or that could turn into bitterness or vice versa, and we get those kind of sensory warning signs when we are engaging with people that it might come, it's just a sign. Triggers, and I said something about this recently. Triggers don't come to embarrass us or to hurt us. Triggers actually come to show us, hey, you got some work right here. This is
yeah,
where we need to work, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And so that's all that means, from having anxiety coming on the show to just having anxiety going out of the house to just go to the grocery store, whatever the case may be. When we feel those things, it's a sign to us that we've just got some more work to do. But being healed and whole is the answer. I'm telling you, when you get there, and again, I said it, it's levels to this thing for real. Like, when you get to that healed and whole level where you really feel complete in those 5 areas, I'm telling you, like, you just show up in spaces different, and you expect the environments that you show up in to respond to you in a different way. Make no
it's
mistake about it.
when it comes to anxiety, do you think that has more to do with the emotional part or the spiritual part?
It can be a combination of things. Anxiety can be rooted in a number of different things. Yeah, and it's not necessarily Allie the same for any one person. Not at all.
Yeah, because I think my mom's a narcissist and my sister. So I just feel like I've been through that abuse, that narcissistic abuse before, and like I'm an empath, so um,
So there's a few things going on there for sure, right? Not only anxiety, but then absorbing what everybody else does is a combination that's an interesting one. But again, it's certainly not one that you can overcome, right? Just putting together some basic principles daily to work on recentering and regrounding yourself every single day. It's so important. Meditation works too. Meditation. I
mm,
don't know if you meditate, but meditation is powerful when it comes to remaining centered, especially if you deal with anxiety, depression, things like that.
yeah, I have sensory overload like crazy.
Mhm. Yep. So meditation would do wonders for you for sure.
Thank you.
I hope that was helpful, my friend. It was a pleasure talking to you.
You too. It was helpful. It gave me like more confidence.
Very good. You feel free to tune in anytime and chime in anytime you want to. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend.
You too.
Bye now. All right, y'all. If you want to join the stream, I've got one more person in the studio. I'm about to bring Lauren on, but let me tell you the link to jump on. I don't know why Healed looks blurred. Does that look blurry to you all? It looks blurry to everybody, kind of a little bit. Um, if you want to get on the camera with me, the link is in the description. If you click on the link in the description, it gives you the link there. You can jump on and wait backstage, and we'll certainly bring you on in the order. Let me see if I can grab my thing because this little blurry thing is really wearing me out. Hold on one second. The link is in the description, and you can come on and we will bring you on. But I'm getting ready to bring Lauren on. I hope this has been helpful for everybody. I haven't seen a lot of churches tonight, so yeah, that's a big difference. Wow, that's a huge difference. I just did a whole show with a blurry camera. Okay, there we go. But I hope this has been helpful tonight. I've enjoyed this. We're going to definitely do this some more, and y'all feel free to open up. I haven't heard a question or nothing that's made me blush yet, so y'all are taking it easy on me. Lauren, I'm about to bring you on, my friend. I see you. Good evening to you.
Hey, Dr. Zeb.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to be on with you. What can we help you with?
So first I want to start by saying I'm the lady who messaged you a few weeks ago to tell you that I'm from the same area that you
Yeah.
are.
Uh-huh.
So I'm saying that to sort of preface what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
That way we can have some relatability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently back in school. I'm
Mm-hmm.
32. I have 2 children.
Great.
I work full time. I'm in school full time.
Okay.
And I'm doing a double major for medical laboratory technician and biochemistry.
Nice.
I work for LabCorp,
Okay.
and recently I went to a networking event, which I'm a phlebotomist. There were no other phlebotomists there. I was the only one. Everybody was either in some type of project management or the lab side of things, or in some type of upper management.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't want to go because I really felt like I was sort of going to be out of place.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going to the event, networking with a few people, and I was offered a job in another department, which would be a promotion for me. And also, I was offered the chance for them to help pay for my schooling. That way, I don't have to pay for it out of pocket myself.
Okay.
Um, I don't have a very big support system. Um, and also, I noticed that I guess I'm sort of in a place where I'm doing the work, I'm healing, but
Mm-hmm.
I still have very much that need to sort of people please. And I feel like the people that I told that are in my circle um, were not as happy for me as I thought they may have been.
Mm-hmm.
but I know you kind of know the area in which I'm
Yeah.
coming from, and
Mhm.
it's not always received well. I haven't always been, in the loop with everyone else. I've kind of always felt like an outsider,
Mhm.
just because the mindset of the people in this area.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, so yeah, even though I'm on this healing journey, I'm, trying to do all 5 areas of
Mhm.
that healing. I'm currently losing weight. I'm going back to school. I'm working on my finances, spiritually, financially, everything. I still somewhat feel that need. I don't know if it's so much to people please, but sort of. And also there's a very much a feeling of self-doubt, because when I didn't get that response that I thought, immediately my mind went to, is this a good decision? And I watched your video, I don't know if it was last week or the week before,
Mhm.
about making good
Decisions.
decisions.
Mhm.
So how do you suggest that someone unlearns and learns a new way of, I don't want to say not having that self-doubt, but trying to minimize self-doubt and move forward when you have good things going on for you, but you don't really have anyone that supports you in those good endeavors?
It's going to sound like a broken record, but I'll say to you, Lauren, I think it still goes back to those 5 areas of healing. And you heard me say earlier about the levels. There are levels
Hmm.
to being healed, without a doubt. And when I say levels to being healed, there's a level where you are so healed that you're healed irregardless of support,
Hmm.
right? There's look at it. Let's say somebody like breaks a leg. This is probably a horrible example. I'm going to try though. Let's say somebody breaks a leg and they're in rehab. They're going through the process of healing. They start off to a point where they can't walk without crutches at all, and then they graduate from being able to hobble without crutches
Hmm.
with some assistance from someone, and then they graduate from being able to hobble on their own without assistance, and then they graduate from not hobbling at all to being able to walk. Look at healing that way. you
Hmm.
you eventually, as you continue to work on yourself and rehabilitate yourself in those 5 areas, you get to a point where you go from needing assistance to needing no assistance at all.
Hmm.
Even if you considered yourself to be an empath, and coming from where we come from, let me be the first person to tell you, when you come up from environments like that, you learn real fast the value of learning how to walk on your own.
Hmm.
You just do. Um, and so I think there's levels to it. I think we continue to develop ourselves in those 5 areas. I think the other thing that we do is we can spend some time, Lauren, redefining how we see ourselves. Because the
Hmm.
fact of the matter is, the best way to unlearn self-doubt is to redefine how you see you, right? Redefine how you see you, meaning similar to what I said to someone a couple of calls ago, taking a look at how you see yourself and where you want to be, and how you want to see yourself, say in the next 6 months to a year, and letting that be the roadmap that redefines and redraws your character as a person. So
Hmm.
we combat self-doubt by really redefining how we see ourselves.
Hmm.
Not being an empath and putting that in the hands of people, or in the hands of an environment that's not supportive, or in the hands of people who don't want to push you and motivate you, but putting that type of authority and that power back into yourself,
Hmm.
and saying, this is who I want to be, this is who I intend to grow to become, and I'm going to take steps every single day to becoming that type of that person, and not putting any authority or the power in other people. And I think that's where we mess up. Like we give people way too much power.
Hmm.
It's what I don't like
I agree.
about, I get narcissism is real. I get manipulation is real. I get those things. I'm not suggesting that they're not. But I think sometimes, I had somebody go back and forth with me, try to go do a whole argument. This was months ago when I was really responding to every comment.
Hmm.
This young lady tried to go back and forth with me to convince me that narcissists were the exception to the rule when it comes to how we feel about ourselves. No, it's not. Nobody's the exception to the rule. We are in control with how we allow people to cause us to feel about ourselves. And if
Mhm.
we say that people can make us feel some kind of way about ourselves or not value ourselves, or their lack of support causes us to look at ourselves a different way or create self doubt, we have officially given them way too much control.
Right. Right.
We've given them too much control. So you take back control by redefining, Lauren, what it means to be Lauren in this season of your life. How old are you, my friend?
32.
Perfect. Perfect age. You use this as an opportunity to really redefine what it means to be Lauren. What does a whole and healthy Lauren look like when she shows up in spaces? And
Mhm.
when you redefine that, then you take the power of others causing you to self doubt, you completely strip them of that and you take back control over your life.
Mhm. Definitely. I appreciate that.
How many children do you have?
2.
Two.
Mhm.
Um, are you staying in the area? What are your career plans?
So this new job will actually take me to Raleigh. Um, and it's a great opportunity. It's going to be a promotion. It will still be an hourly job. However, it's going to be close to $10 more an hour, which is a pretty good jump in
Hmm.
pay.
Hmm.
And then, like I said, I'll get on the job training um, for the major that I'm minoring in. And then they're also going to pay for my 4-year degree, which is in biochemistry. They'll pay for
Very,
that in full.
very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of it maybe, which I'm currently in therapy,
Hmm.
but a lot of it probably also stems back to maybe feeling like I hadn't been supported long term. You know what I'm saying? Or really ever.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like I'm always that person for other people, but I never have anyone in that area for me. And that's part of the reason, but also, like you said, like redefining and being able to not really worry about if someone else is going to cheer me on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the most powerful disservices we can give to children is not support, is when we
Hmm.
don't support them. Because when you don't support a child, you teach them intrinsically how to survive without support. And then they reach a point in their lives where they need support. And when they don't have support, then that creates tension in their lives. So I think we all, as parents, one of the greatest gifts we can give our children is support.
Hmm.
Right? Whether they're doing well, support them. If they're not doing well, support them. If they're in athletics and they do a great job, support them. If they lose, support them. Right? Just showing them support and encouragement. That way, they grow as adults to understand the importance of being able to encourage and support themselves because they came with that. You didn't have that, and that's okay. But this is an opportunity now for you to rebuild it by rebuilding your self-doubt by redrawing the way you see Lauren. What's the person who is the Lauren? What are the characteristics of the Lauren that you want to see materialize into your life, and then going after her? And part of this too could, and we won't get into it tonight, but part of this could also dive into childhood wounds. I think sometimes we have to heal the inner child inside of us, and that inner child is the person, it's the little Lauren that was not supported as a little girl, right? Who was not encouraged, who was not motivated, who now as an adult is crying out. Right? So
Hmm.
sometimes we need to do some healing on our inner child, to heal her and to let her know, number one, she's safe, and number two, that you're going to treat her different,
Right.
right? And that
Hmm.
really starts you on the road towards being as completed and as whole as possible, both on the outside as well as the inside.
Thank you so
You
much.
hometown, my friend. I need you to
I
keep me.
know.
I need
Thank
you.
you
I
so
need you.
much.
I'm serious.
And
I
we
need
are
you.
so proud of you.
Well, listen, that means a lot coming from you. We definitely come from an interesting area. Uh,
We do.
that's for sure. But that means a whole lot coming from you. And I'm serious, you hometown. If I could ever do anything, you hit me up and let me know. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, my friend. All right, Charnay, I'm about to come to you. I see you. You're looking all comfortable on the couch. This is good. So Charnay, I guess will be my last one. I think we've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. Has this been helpful? If you all want me to do this again, I want you to put it in the comments. Type church in the comments with as many R's as you can. I may do this once a week. I don't know if it'll be Fridays. Maybe we'll do Wednesdays or something like that. I do TikTok on Thursdays. They will have a fit if I did it on Thursdays. But if this was helpful, I would love to do this again every week. It takes a lot of courage to get on the camera and to talk through your problems, and especially in front of an audience that can see a replay and all of those things. But I think it's very empowering too, as well. And so I've enjoyed this. Charnay, I'm coming. Let's do it. How are you, my friend? I think you're muted. You might be muted. Is your volume down? Because you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Your volume might be down. It could be your computer volume, possibly, or maybe your computer sound is muted. Mm-mm. Okay, come back and join us. Yep, looks like she's going to come back on. Um, Not Wednesday night is Bible study. I hear you, Lisa. Good. I see a lot of people saying, "Let's do this again." I think I'd love to do this again. This has been a lot of fun. Charnay, let's bring you back. Okay, she's connecting. I think she's still connecting. Good. Giving Charnay a chance to connect. You think you're ready, Charnay? You want to try it? Still, I see you. I can't hear you yet. Um, let's see if I can do anything with your mic settings. Can you hear me okay? You can hear me. Um, and yes, you can definitely get the confidence to get on the screen, Janaea. Let's see. Um, April, I hear you with no Thursdays. Y'all will give me a fit if I take TikTok Thursdays. Edit mic settings. It looks fine on my end. Let me remove you and put you back in. Let's try it. Let me add you back. And your volume is all the way up? Nope, I can't hear you at all. I don't know if anybody else can hear Charnay. I can't hear you at all. Um, which is really weird. Hey, Gabby, one of my favorite clients is on tonight. Good to see you. Yes, so it looks like you all want me to do this. I'll do it. I think this has been a lot of fun. And I'm going to give Charnay a chance to try to get on, and we'll let her be the last caller tonight. And we'll go from there. Lisa said, not on Bible study night. Good. Church and notes taken. I appreciate you all. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to start doing more YouTube videos. I'm going to start transitioning there. I get a lot of people who talk about my TikToks and, believe it or not, complain. I think people find everything to complain about, and say that TikToks are too long, all of this stuff, whatever. So I'm going to start doing YouTube videos to explain a lot of these concepts for those of you that enjoy it. Wednesday is good, but it'll have to be. Y'all love some Bible study. Y'all must be in the Bible belt. Chardonnay, can we hear you, my friend? Mm-mm. Like nothing. Are you sure your volume isn't down on your computer? It's not down? It's all the way up? You don't have a mute button on your computer by chance? Is your speaker on your computer muted? Do you have a sound icon on your computer that might be down by chance? That's all the way up. That's weird. I don't know what that could be. I have no idea what that can be. I can see you just fine, but it's gotta be. Let me mute you and let me unmute you. It's gotta be something on your end, I believe. Um, that sucks. I would love to. There's gotta be something on your end. I don't know what it is. You want to do this? You want to restart your computer? I'll wait. Restart your computer and come back on the link. Okay, you're gonna be the last call. I'm not taking anybody else. Okay. All right. Um, this has been good. Many of you have said this is like FP said this is like date night with herself. I know this is on a Friday. Do you all think Friday is still a good night? I don't know if Friday is a good night. I think Wednesdays still would be better. Um, or maybe like Mondays. I could see Monday being a good night of the week for me as well. Um, Maybe Fridays because people are in the streets, and so maybe Fridays may not be as good. So maybe we'll look at maybe doing this on Mondays and then doing TikToks on Thursdays. But I promised to do it. I finally broke 100 or 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really haven't put a lot of effort into YouTube recently. And now I'm about to, like I said earlier, get back to that because many of you want me to explain. Many of you want me to explain a lot of the concepts that I teach. And thank you so much, Samara. I hope I'm saying that right. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Um, Many of you want me to explain a lot of the concepts that I teach on my TikToks, and YouTube is the perfect uh, source to do that. Sabrina, you can certainly have the guts to do it. We believe in you. We're going to push you next time. And so I'm going to use really TikTok or YouTube rather to really explain a lot of the things that I teach from on that I teach on from self-esteem, confidence. I'm going to do a video. Probably the first video I'm going to do is going to be on the 5 areas of healing. Those 5 areas that we talk about. Thanks so much, Michaela. The 5 areas of healing. And we're going to do all of that and go from there. Chardonnay, I'm going to add you. Let's try this. Let's hope it works. Come on.
Hope you can hear me. Can you guys
There
hear
we
me?
go. There we go. I don't know
Okay,
what it
I had
was.
to switch to my phone, so I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good, my friend.
I
I'm
don't
glad
know.
you were able to get that worked out, and I appreciate you
Me
doing
too.
that. Thank you so much for your patience and for coming on. What can we help you with, my friend?
So this is my first time ever doing something like this. I'm
Okay.
really, I'm
Okay.
really nervous
Okay.
to be vulnerable like this.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I recently just got out of a relationship. We were kind of like on and off for about 3 years.
Hmm.
Um, it- he broke up with me. Our biggest thing in the relationship was trust.
Okay.
I will be transparent about that.
Hmm.
But my biggest thing with our relationship is that he doesn't care about the why. Because to me, the why things are happening is important, because to me, that kind of breaks down, like, how did we get here, why we're here. Um, so yeah, so I'm just gonna focus on me and say, what do you do when it's hard for somebody, when you're dealing with somebody who doesn't think about the why of something, if that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, I think you may have in many ways have answered the question. Are you two still seeing each other? Are you kind of going back and forth, situationship? Kind of, what's your status?
Well, we worked together, and then something happened, and it didn't last. We actually broke up for good this time.
Hmm.
And we were still conversing consistently in a space of like operating like we were still in a relationship, but we weren't.
Hmm.
And then once we had a conversation and it opened my eyes to show like, okay, we're not getting back together, I let him know like I'm okay with us still being in communication with each other, but the boundaries would definitely have to change. And he was kind of giving pushback on that, because what God doesn't want to have their cake and eat it too,
Right.
so of
Right.
course, he's tripping about things having to change. But I'm like, but if we're just going to be acquaintances or
Mhm.
friends, or, just in passing, whatever place, whatever title we're giving each other moving forward, I think that's very far away from us being together. So in my opinion, I don't think you should get it's, and you posted a video, I think maybe last week or
Mhm.
earlier this week, about
Mhm.
access. And I think that, again, he wants his cake and eat it too. So he's not thinking about access. And I'm starting to be really big on that, because I'm understanding like everybody shouldn't just be able to bombard your life in whatever capacity. So yeah, so my biggest thing is just really just, he just doesn't really inquire about why. It's just more like, you did the action, this is where we are with it. And in my opinion, it's like, I mean, I can't control who gives the how much grace and mercy someone gives.
Mhm.
That's up to the discretion of the person. I understand that.
Right.
But to me, why did we land here is really important. I mean, just because maybe that might help the situation, or maybe it might be a lesson for moving forward for both, or just one of the other, however that would play out. But that would be my biggest question um, to you.
And I want to make sure I'm clear on the question, and that is, how do you just move on with the why?
Well, no, how do you move forward with someone that, so like when you're in a relationship or you're in some sort of situation with someone,
Hmm.
and they don't care about the, well, why did we get here?
Hmm.
Why are we here?
Hmm.
That's my biggest thing. I mean, because I feel like you're always going to be faced with challenges in any relationship, but to kind of get to the core of what happened, to me, that is how you find resolution. You actually can address and heal the wound versus like put a band-aid on it.
But you can't heal with the toothbrush strep
That's
throat.
got the strep on it, right? Mm,
This is why space is so important. Space, my friend, creates clarity. Nothing creates clarity in our lives like space.
okay.
Nothing. Um, you don't believe me? Do your hand like this and put it on your face. You can't see nothing. And the
Right.
further back you pull it, the more clear your hand becomes.
Hmm.
And clarity
Okay.
works like that in our lives. And when you're in a situation with an ex, or you just had a recent breakup, sometimes you can't see the breakup for what it is when you're too close to them.
Mm.
And so this is why space is important. And here's the thing, we fight space. It's not,
Hmm.
I don't want you to criticize him for him. And I hear what you're saying about, wanting the cake and eat it too, and I get that. But 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 is it not natural for us as humans, if you've been with a person for some time and there's a breakup, isn't it natural that you still kind of want them near or close by, or you want to kind of know what's going on with them and they know what's going on with you? That's normal in the
Okay.
beginning. But then we have to pump the brakes and ask ourselves if we're going to heal from this and stay together, or if we're going to heal from this and move on.
Hmm.
What's the quickest way to get there? The quickest way to get there is to create space. Because when
Mm.
you create space, it's like taking a step back and then saying, okay, Chardonnay, I'm going to look at this situation from 50 feet behind versus being in the middle of it. So, if you all are, look, people have different theories about still being friends, when it's a breakup, still having access when it's a breakup. I think that's possible, but I think it depends on the nature of the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the nature of what went on that led up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing is this: I think it depends on people's emotional and mental well being
Mm-hmm.
when that breakup occurs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if people don't have the emotional maturity to handle a breakup well, they're not going to have the emotional maturity to be your friend post breakup.
Right. Hmm. Okay. Well, that
So
makes sense.
clarity. I mean, you got to take a step back. Like, do you all talk every day? Like, what's the status with
I
y'all?
mean, at one point, yeah, we were talking every day, but it's funny that you're talking about like clarity and taking a step back and really reviewing everything, because he has put that out there more than once. And I was
That he wants to
very,
do it. That he wants to do it.
he feels like how, so we're on opposite ends of that
Mhm.
spectrum. So my end is like, because I come from like, if you like are serious with somebody, or you're in a relationship, a marriage, whatever, you're pretty much really locked in with somebody, you don't leave, you figure it out.
Mhm.
That's what I was taught.
Mhm.
So, and then he's on the side of like, yeah, but I need to take a step back. We need to take a step back from each other. And because it's been a couple situations where he's, it might have been if we would have just stuck through the let's take a step back and then come back, we probably would have been able to reconvene in a different space. But
Bingo.
because I'm kind of dogmatic about, I think we should stay, and then he's kind of leaning into that, or trying to lean into that, or we're both trying to figure it out. Is, I guess, talking about saying it out loud, it is kind of causing chaos.
Mhm.
Like, this is the first time I'm kind of saying it out loud. You know how you think of stuff in your head?
I
You're
do.
like, this makes sense, okay?
Mhm.
This is absolutely correct. And then you say it out loud and you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So this is my first time that I'm saying it, and I'm like, okay, maybe that is causing a lot of chaos.
If, if you both were caught in a snowstorm, let's say you were both caught in a blizzard. Where do you live, Chardonnay?
And it would be a blizzard because I live in Michigan.
Oh, wow. Perfect
So,
example. Look at there.
right, look at that. Yeah,
Let's say you were both caught in a snowstorm. There is easily 15 inches of snow outside, which is normal in Michigan.
it is.
There's 15 inches of snow outside, and both of you are in the house.
Okay.
And you're in a storm. You're in a house, but the house doesn't belong to either one of you.
Hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
And there's no food in the house. What is the best way to get food in that house? Would it be, we can't call Uber Eats, right? So don't be click there, right? But would it be for both of you to go out and embrace the storm? Would it be for one of you to stay put and the other one to go into the storm?
I would choose B.
Bingo. Because the reality is, when storms come in relationships, we think that's the time for us to hunker down and stay in the house. Right? Like you, I'm gonna thug it out. I'm used to when times get hard, we don't run. When he goes to the store, he's not running.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get something that the house needs, i.e., the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We think separation time is bad because we have this intrinsic fear that because we're not together physically, we're no longer bonded. But just because you're not together physically doesn't mean you're not bonded. Some of the tightest bonds I've had with people were people that were never even in my presence.
Mm. Okay.
He's right in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
That both of you taking a step back and just
Mm-hmm.
looking at this and examining, because you're big on the why, right? Like, why did we get here? How did we get here? I'm with that. I get that. That's where we learn. We got to be careful with the why. The why causes us to take a step back into the past so we can understand. So we get it to capture the understanding of how we got there, but we don't stay there. Then we move forward, right? If not, you dwell on the past and you never grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you're saying, but if both of you then take a step back
Mm-hmm.
so that you can really survey the storm,
Mm-hmm.
when you come back together, you should have a different perspective on your relationship, how you got there and how you move forward. Space could definitely be the answer, but we delay space
Mm-hmm.
because we think space is going to drive us apart. We think
Mm-hmm.
space is not going to be the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why most states want you to be separated before you get divorced.
Mm.
What's the
That
reason? Because
that
they
clarity.
want you to step back and get clear.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Mm-hmm.
sure this is what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure this is the direction you want to take your marriage in? It is
Mm-hmm.
separation is nothing more than a step back period for clarity.
Well, now I feel bad.
Nope. You
I
just
feel
call
bad.
them up after this call and be like, sweetheart, let's grab dinner and let's talk.
But I don't even think we're at that point anymore. I honestly think it would just be best to just like have a conversation with him and just to have accountability and say, when your mom tell you something and she right, but then like your auntie tell you and you like,
And I don't want them feeling no kind of way about me.
no,
But they
but
be
this
like,
is, I mean, just coming. I guess sometimes when it's coming from the person that you're with, it doesn't penetrate the same. It's like hearing it from an outside perspective that is 100% non-biased to the situation. So,
and
um,
guess whose fault that is, Chardonnay? I'm about to come down hard on you. That's yours.
wait, what's my fault?
The fact that you can't receive it from him the way you received it from me.
Hmm.
You know what happens? When we get too close to people, we tend to take who they are and what they have to say for granted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
a fact. And
Yeah.
it's your analogy is perfect because our kids do this to us, right? My
Mm-hmm.
kid, 9 and 10,
Yeah.
I tell them this stuff, and then their cousin tells them something, or their teacher tells them something. And I'm like, did I not tell you this for the last 3 months?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm daddy, and you see me
Right.
all the time. You talk to me all the time.
Start taking it for granted. You're right.
We don't have enough space there. But see, this is why I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer of space. If you're going to try to reconcile,
Mm-hmm.
tell you something else. If you all do get back together, or you decide to go on and move on with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
it is a great idea to date people. And when you're with them, boyfriend, girlfriend, you're a couple, whatever, you should not spend every day together. I
Yeah,
know.
see, we
I know
made
a
that.
lot of people
We
don't
made
believe
that.
me.
We made that mistake. We spent a lot of time fast. Like it,
Mm-mm.
we fell real fast.
Because there's no clarity. And so thus, when it falls apart, where's the clarity? It isn't there.
Right, right,
You had no time apart.
right,
You need to have explicit days where you don't see each other. Yeah, you can
right,
talk, text, whatever, but
right,
you don't need to spend every hour of every day because there is no clarity.
right,
And even if you live with each other, which I'm not a huge fan of, I'll be
right.
honest with you, but if you do, you need to plan trips where you're apart
Mm-hmm.
because that space creates clarity in that relationship. You need a
Mm-hmm.
chance to be able to see that relationship for what it is, miss that person, be away from their presence, so that you can
Mm-hmm.
really build a stronger bond. It is not
Mm-hmm.
closeness that builds bonds. I know people think that.
Mm.
Distance builds bonds.
It seems like I owe this man an apology. I'm sorry to that man. I this is the
Tell him
first time that I'm seeing it from an
you
entirely
can give
different
him my
perspective.
cash app, man, and me and him can go do lunch and talk about it from his side.
Absolutely,
But
yeah,
he's right.
absolutely.
He's right in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the space. And I think
Yeah.
this is something, unless it was, and I don't need to know the details of why you
Mm-hmm.
split apart, but unless it's just something that can't be reconciled, this is something that can be resolved. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a fan of people being able to resolve what they can resolve. I think breakups and divorces are ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can resolve it and people are healed and aware enough to be able to do it,
Mm-hmm.
please do it. I want to see people together, not apart.
Well, I think his biggest thing is like trust and then like physical accountability. So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, you tell me that yes, you can own up verbally and say, I know stepped on your foot. I know I broke your foot, put you in a hospital. I know but then to turn around and then physically hold yourself accountable. So like actually look at yourself, take a step back and look at yourself and have rigorous honesty and say, you know, you weren't supposed to, have a real conversation with yourself. So yeah, it sounds
Well,
like
here's the
Mhm.
other side to in fairness to what you're saying, because
Mhm.
I'm very much equal opportunity. In
Mhm.
fairness to what you're saying, Charnay, the
Mhm.
other side to this is this: separation periods work best when people, while they're separated, are actually working on themselves. What tends to
Mhm.
happen, you have a couple that's married and then they're talking about divorce, so they get separated. People don't work on themselves. They just see
Mhm.
that as time apart.
Mhm.
And time apart and versus time apart working on yourself are two totally different things.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
what he does when he separates from you or steps back from you is as important as stepping away from you.
Mhm.
Or
Okay.
else it's just a physical exercise.
Mhm.
Like, it's just an exercise in proximity. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So the time apart that y'all are apart, you should be working on yourselves mentally, emotionally, right? If you've got
Yeah.
trust issues and challenges that you've had in the past, you should
Yeah.
be working to build that trust up,
Yeah.
right? So that when you do come back together, you see each other a little bit different. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes 100% sense.
Mhm.
100%. I've been looking at it, and I can own up and say I've been looking at it from the wrong lens, from the wrong perspective. You know,
That's fair. That's
but it's
honest.
it's a learning process. You know, so like you said, if the connection is really there and it's real, we can. And I guess you pretty much kind of answered my second question as well, because I was gonna ask another question, but you kind of answered that with, like, do you think couples can kind of make it back from just a lot of baggage that has accumulated within the relationship? You know,
Work. It takes work.
and I say that, I say, like, it's gonna take work, but you know, one thing that he always says, or he has says a couple times throughout our conversations, is that things will never be the same. And my response always to that is, okay, good. It shouldn't be the same. Like, why would we go through a storm and be right where we started right before the storm came? Like, to me, that's I don't want that. I want to be able to show my my war wounds, my scar, our scars, just everything that, and then come out on the other side and be like, look at that, we went through a storm, we came out, so I don't know.
Well, no, I think what you're saying has great value, my friend. I do. I think, Charnay, it has great value. And I think what you're saying is not, um, I think what you're saying is not far fetched. But what I will say to you is you nailed it when you said what we do while we're apart is important. And it
Hmm.
is. People spend time apart and they just don't work on themselves. And then they come back together and think that distance alone is
Hmm.
going to fix it. No, distance is a part of it.
Hmm.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Hmm.
Distance is a part of it, but it's what you do while you're apart
Hmm. That
that
actually
matters.
matters. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
people just waste time. They spend time apart or they do the unthinkable. They spend time apart and they start entertaining other people. And then you got a whole different other thing that's going on.
Situation that's going on. Yeah.
Bingo. And you can tell that too. If you've been
Hmm.
working on yourself, you can tell when the other person's been stepping out. People
Yeah,
don't
like you
leave
were saying
you
with the hill, you can kind of you can energies, you can sense it, you can smell it, you can understand it without having to really understand it. You can,
absolutely.
somebody can walk in the room and be like, yeah, before
Yep.
y'all even sit down and had a conversation, you're like, you ain't been working on yourself.
Yep. You
You
can
still
tell it
got the
every
same
time.
smell on you.
You
Yeah.
can absolutely tell it every time.
Yeah.
And it's something that'll just repel itself from you.
Yeah.
Like, make no mistake about it. It will repel itself from you. So yeah, I think what we do with our time apart is so important, my friend. Like, we've got to really
Okay.
maximize that time. But yeah, have a conversation with him.
Okay.
I think he'll welcome it. And if he is really working on himself from a healed and wholeness perspective and really working on the areas of his life that will get him there, then his response might initially be a little bit of "I told you so." I don't know. I don't know him
Mhm.
as a
Mhm.
guy, but he shouldn't be there long because
Yeah.
here's the other part: the more healed you are, the faster you recover.
Mhm.
Like, people that hold on to things forever are people that really need to be
And
healed.
I think us holding on to each other
Uh-huh.
is stagnating just our growth in general
Yep.
as an entirety, not just in the love department. I just feel like, listen, God is looking at his clock like, when are y'all gonna walk away for a while so we can bless you to, and whatever blessing that might be for him or for me. It could be like, I could bless you with this and bless him with that, and that'll pull you guys back together stronger. But y'all just will not leave each other alone. Like, I need you to separate from this man, and I need you to separate from this woman. And I think I show my emotions more than he does, as far as like how the hurt or maybe upsetness that I show sometimes, or verbalize sometimes, as far as me not liking where we are.
Mhm.
But I think it does also affect him too. I just think that he's a man, and he's just not as vocal or vulnerable with showing, his hurt or his, grievance over us. I don't know. I guess he's not showing it as much as I am, or saying it as much as I am.
Well, that's okay. That can come. How old are you both, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm 31 and
Mhm.
he's 37.
Okay.
Hmm.
That can come in time, but I think as we heal, especially in those emotional and mental spaces, we become more comfortable being vulnerable, which
Hmm.
includes showing our emotions and how we feel and expressing how we feel. And I tell men this: look, men, it's nothing wrong with being a strong man, but being a strong man doesn't mean you cannot express your feelings and emotions.
I tell him all the time, like, I feel like you working, like, he's literally just said this recently, like, mainly, which most men do, but I mainly operate off of logic. And I said, and because of that, and because you're not tapping into, feminine energy, or your emotional energy, just tapping into your emotions, because you won't do that, you're cutting yourself out of a whole
Mhm,
perspective that will help you understand things.
mhm.
Give you I said, you're like that with your children, which is amazing, but you're not like that with somebody that you're dealing with in an intimate way, and that's hurting you, because that's lack of compassion, that's lack of grace, mercy, patience. That's,
Yeah.
which to me is important, as far as allowing people to grow. Because where you are now is hopefully where you won't be there in the next 2 or 3 years. So, or 5 to, you just have to give people room to be able to grow, and with growth comes mistakes, sometimes pain, and depending on, like you always say, the depth of their trauma determines what they put out to the
Mhm.
world. You know what I'm saying? So, it's I feel like I'm really wrong in a lot of this situation, but I can also be okay with that. Like, I'm more
Well,
so
he has some
happy.
things to work on too.
Hmm.
Look,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
I'm equal
but we're
opportunity.
talking right now, so I'm like, I
Absolutely.
could absolutely stand up and say, okay, all right,
That's
you
awesome.
might have got me on that one,
That's
but
awesome.
it's good criticism. If anything, criticism, people look at it and say, I don't like criticism, but to me, somebody truly cares about you if they can, like, yank your chain. Like, listen, that's wild. That's crazy. That's when somebody can give you some
Yep.
kind of rigorous honesty on how to better yourself, not talking down to you, but bettering yourself. I would take that more as a blessing than, just someone trying to, disrespect me, I guess I would say.
No, I totally
So,
agree. I totally agree. And I'll just add this to it quickly. I think you nailed it when you talked about masculine energy and feminine energy. And Charnay, you may not believe this, but most people don't understand that in the conversation with masculine and feminine energy, we all have masculine energy and we all
mhm,
have feminine energy.
mhm,
A lot of people don't know that.
mhm,
I'm a man, so I only have masculine. I'm a woman,
mhm,
so I only have feminine. No,
mhm.
we have both.
Especially in modern times, like, women,
Absolutely.
listen, women armor up every day. I have to do it every day, and go into, well, I work from home, but it's plenty of women that go into the field and
Yep.
have to put on masculine energy. It's plenty of men that have children and have to, or they're dealing with the elder mother. There are reasons in the world that are, or in your personal life, that will cause you to tap into certain perspectives. And
It is already embedded in us. We
yeah,
are born
absolutely.
with both. We are born
Hmm.
with both, but then we drive, to your point, to certain energies dependent on our careers, our occupations, our upbringings, a
Hmm.
lot of different factors.
Hmm.
But I'm just amazed at the amount of people that don't realize they have both in them. And so you said something about connectivity, and this is where attraction is built, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. Because
Hmm.
if you got two strong masculine energies coming from a man and a woman that are together and they're both in their masculine,
It is two bulls in a china pen, in the china shop. It's a lot of wreckage. It's a lot of
bingo,
chaos. It's a
bingo,
lot of chaos. Right.
bingo.
Right.
It's such a phenomenon, and it's why the book "Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus" I always recommend it to all my clients. It's the best book I've ever read on masculine and feminine energy because it breaks it down to just basic science so you understand it. So
Hmm.
yeah, have that conversation with him. I think y'all gonna be fine. I hope so.
Fingers crossed. But but the bigger picture is, even if things don't work out
Hmm.
with me and him, I think I've reached a point, because I've just stretched it so far,
Sure.
that I think I've just grown to the point to a place in that whole process of just being grateful to say, like, if us walking away from each other permanently is the answer, I mean, I've said it to him plenty of times. Like, I would just thank you for the exchange of our energy, and it was great meeting you. And I've learned so much from you, and I'm so different
Absolutely.
because I was in this relationship. I have made a complete 180 because of this relationship. So maybe that's why you entered my life, so I could make a 180, so I could attract things that I'm supposed to attract.
And that's
So
growth, my friend. That's
yeah,
growth. It's similar to what I think I told Tracy earlier, the gentleman earlier, right? We
yeah,
take bad experiences and take
mm-hmm,
what we got from it, and it really
yep,
reframes what we've gone through. Absolutely.
yeah. I'm definitely one of those points. I mean, when you say the time apart,
Hmm.
working on yourself, because I'm definitely in a place where I can, like, look at myself and be like, you definitely need to pull back, and you need to present something better to the market so you can
Absolutely.
attract better. So it's
Absolutely.
like, you should stay off the market for a while and just kind of, just like, I kind of been in a hut, just literally in my home a lot, like
Hmm.
a lot. And at first I didn't know what God was doing. I had no idea. But then as time go on, I'm like, oh, okay, you're making me work on myself. Okay, gotcha.
How it works sometimes, isn't
Gotcha.
it?
Yeah. It's like, you're gonna make me do it. And I didn't realize it for a long time. Like, you're removing a lot of stuff that I probably would have never paused or took out of my life. So yeah, I can understand that now. And so, and like,
Absolutely.
even this meeting is, I had no idea this was gonna happen. I just always watch you on TikTok
Good.
because I love your content, and
Thank you.
I'll watch everything that you post, and I put
Mhm.
church under everything you post. But even this is like a big deal, because a lot of what you're saying is confirmation on my thought process, but also your correction is, I'm grateful for that. So I wasn't expecting this, but I'm absolutely grateful that you've taken the time to listen to me chitter
Well,
chatter about my problems.
you have taken it like a G. You've really taken it well. And I agree with you totally. Sometimes things don't work out with people that we do love. But if we
Hmm.
take the lessons from it, we've gotten from that experience what we need to get,
Hmm.
and we can move on in peace with that. So I'm proud of you.
Yes,
It's gonna work out. But please shoot me a note or something. Let me know how this goes.
absolutely.
Okay.
And my name on TikTok is I'm Next.
I'm
So
Nick.
it's not, it's I'm next, because
Okay.
I'm next in everything. So if you see it, it's me. It's
I'll try
Chardonnay.
to remember. I will absolutely try to remember that, my friend. I appreciate
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Like
I
I said,
appreciate you. Have
have
an
a great
incredible
night.
weekend. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right, y'all. This has been a lot of fun. It has been 2 hours and 23 minutes, and y'all should be tired, but I've enjoyed this. I think a lot of you have enjoyed this, and so what we will look at is probably Monday. I think I'm going to do this again Monday, and try to promote it and see what we can do. Can you keep the same content though for Thursdays? Yes, I'm not going to change Thursdays on TikTok. I just wish I could bring more people on the screen for TikTok. TikTok's a little weird. I don't like TikTok's format there, so I will keep that. But I'm glad you all got some takeaways from tonight, and I appreciate you all. Again, make sure you like. Do me a favor, if you have not liked the channel, make sure you like this channel. I really want to try to grow some momentum in this space, and so your like will help to improve the algorithm for me. That's not very strong for me right now on YouTube, but it will be soon. So like the video, share the video if you would, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. And of course, if you want to support the show, a few of you have already supported the show tonight. I really appreciate it. If you want to support the show tonight, I certainly want to encourage you to do that. But I appreciate all of you. I mean that sincerely. And yes, I'm working on Zoom groups. I see Yay for Mondays. I appreciate all of you. I am working on Zoom groups right now. Jania said that has been a lot of requests for me to do classes and courses that are over 4 8 weeks periods of time, and so I'm working on crafting all of that out. So I've got so much going on, but we're going to get it figured out. And I just appreciate all of your support, sincerely. It's been great, and thank you all. I love growing things organically. I think when people grow too fast, it fizzles out. When they grow slow, and it's steady, it tends to last. And my growth on Instagram and TikTok has really been slow and steady, but well, and it's because of your support. So I appreciate you. So Monday, we will plan to be here Monday. Let me make a note of this now and put this in my schedule. And we will plan to be here Monday at 9:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So I appreciate all of you. I'm rooting for you. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you Monday. Like the video, share the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Yes, the video will stay up. Thank you so much.